Monday morning. It is May the 1st, and it is beautiful. How are you? Hope you're having a great start to the day. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk right off the top at 8 on what is going to be a beautiful day. It is the kind of weather we have been waiting and waiting and waiting for. We've had some crummy weather. Really glad that that's done. Really glad I was able to get just a little bit of sleep last night and not have to wake up at the extreme early hour to track things today. A lot of things I'm really grateful for. Anyway, it's also just stunning outside. So let's do this. Let's check in and see how we are. There's a shot from our tower cam network in Brevard County. Clear skies. This was the shot yesterday we were using, looking for something tornadic. Really glad that that did not seemingly play out, but also particularly grateful today that we are just that much nicer. So clear skies over top of us. The weather pattern has completely shifted, and now we just get to sit back, relax, and enjoy. First warning, live Doppler radar. Nothing to see here. Temperatures out the door looking wonderful. 64 in Orlando. We're sitting at about 62 degrees in DeLand. It's 63 in Daytona Beach and 60 in Ocala. Comparing to temperatures 24 hours ago, 5 to 10 degrees cooler. So it's noticeably cooler this morning, and you got to love that. Absolutely have to love that. All right, so where do we go from here, right? Well, let's discuss. Temperatures today are going to be climbing, just a little bit warmer than yesterday, still looking fantastic. About 75 degrees by 11 o'clock, 81 by 1 o'clock, and 85 degrees our high temperature on the day. This is beautiful weather. I was telling the kids that pool will be used this week. Every day, every other day, a couple times a day. I would like all of that. So with that said, we've got fantastic weather ahead, and I hope that you have an awesome, awesome, awesome week ahead. Giovanni, good morning. Connie, good morning to you. I did get some sleep, but I didn't get a ton. So we're drinking some coffee this morning. Karen, good morning to you. Patrick, good morning to you. The breeze yesterday was amazing. I opened the whole house and just had to sweep all the leaves that blew in. Yeah, I mean, it was windy yesterday, not even just breezy. It was flat out windy. Paul, good morning to you. Annie says, good morning, y'all. It's a wrap of Jeep Beach 23. Yeah, had a little bit of rough weather for the forecast, unfortunately, but we make the best of what's around, right? David, good morning to you. Karen, how about those storms yesterday? Came all the way down to West Palm. Yeah, had that EF2 tornado in Palm Beach Gardens, which is wild. Tim says yesterday afternoon was gorgeous at the Magic Kingdom. Yeah, I knew it would be. Yeah. Today you can see winds running west 15 to 25. So it's going to, again, be a nice and gusty day. Yeah. Good stuff. Nathaniel, good morning to you. I was going to say, Debbie says breeze. No way. Super wind. It was. There were wind advisories that were posted. It was flat out windy. Just driving the car was chaos yesterday, right? Dana says, went to SeaWorld yesterday. Beautiful day. So windy. It was so windy. Yeah. And today we're going to be talking still about those winds. Let's look at the winds outside right now, okay? We're running, 5-10 miles an hour. But let's look at Futurecast. I'll dial it up. Give me a second. I have to find it. All right, so what this is our Futurecast with winds, okay? It's got the wind and the precipitation. All right, so through the day, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, like you can see the winds are going to be picking up. That west wind is going to be a nice firm wind. But what we're not seeing is rainfall today. It's going to be an absolutely stunning forecast. 12:30, 1 o'clock. Could see, look at that, particularly out around I-75. There you go. 20 to 25 mile per hour winds, right? Approaching 30 in Ocala, according to Futurecast. And then later on, by 4 o'clock, we should start to calm the winds down a little bit. Wow, it's going to stay gusty even through sunset tonight. By 8 o'clock, still running 20 or so miles an hour. Now, these are gusts, okay? Truth be told, these are gusts. but it does let you know kind of where we're at. It's going to be a windy day once again, but that still is comfortable when you're not dealing with showers and storms. So maybe you're heading out to the attractions today. Looks like it's going to be a great forecast to do so. Yeah. Jan, thanks for your hard work and keeping us updated on the severe weather this past week. Jan, it's my pleasure, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sharon says, I'll take some wind over miserable rain. Right. Like, it's going to be gusty, but that is a dry forecast. That's a non-severe forecast. We don't have to worry about golf balls and baseballs and hail balls falling from the sky, right? Like, at least things are looking better and better and better. So let's just take what we can. I understand. It is what it is. All right. What about the overall weather pattern? High pressure building in. Look at where we are tomorrow. High pressure kind of kicking a weak little front move through, keeping us great. Through Wednesday, looking good. Through Thursday, more high pressure building in. So seriously, friends, when I say this week looks stunning, I'm not even kidding with you, okay? Let's put it together with Central Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. All right, so today, 85. A weak little front coming through tomorrow, kind of keeping us in the mid-80s. And then by Thursday, Friday, we'll start to see that rain chance going up just a little bit. Yeah. Annie, why has the weather been so crazy? We had a front basically park over top of us and had like little shortwave piece of energy, shortwave piece of it, just these little pieces of atmospheric energy move through. Blah. Not the most fun thing in the world, but it is what it is. Next chance of rain comes on Saturday. For right now, looks like a couple of showers. Not too bad. Mary Jo says it's absolutely gorgeous. It is. I'm sitting on the patio. If I was going, the chair that I like to do coffee talk from, here, I'll show you. The chair, when I'm outside, that I like to do coffee talk from, you see how the sun's blasting it? Yeah, can't do coffee talk there when it's completely sunny. As much as that's my favorite chair to do coffee talk, is to get the backyard. But the sun would be blasting me in the face because of the direction and angle and all that. So that's okay. That's okay. We'll do coffee talk from here. But that's where I do coffee talk. It's my favorite because that way every time I see the coffee talk stream, which I do check pretty constantly just to make sure that it's looking good, my body's in the right spot and anything, I can see the background and it's the sunshine and I love it. So anyway, it is what it is. It's a beautiful morning though, and we've got some great days ahead. But that said, let's take a minute and just reflect, okay? We were very dry through April, right? And now that we're in May, where do we stand? First, on the Keach-Byram Drought Index, deep blues along the shoreline. Yeah, we've been seeing so much rain, the soil is moist. Through the metro, the soil is moist. The further west you go, the more we're kind of into dry conditions. And frankly, for all of Central Florida, Sumter County is still at the Keach-Byram Drought Index number of 500, which means that Sumter County is still dry in terms of soil. Not great. The rest of Central Florida has really, really done well that last week in April, helping us out. So let's talk about where we are for the year rainfall-wise. If you recall, Orlando and Leesburg were almost 7 inches of rain behind. Where are we today? Wow. Leesburg, 5 inches of rain behind. So we're still dry over the year, but we've really helped things out and the soil is damp. Orlando, we went from being nearly 7 inches of rain behind to about 4.5 inches behind. So it's not a drop in the bucket. Like, we put a dent in that drought. Sanford, big dent in the drought. Daytona Beach, Melbourne, yeah. So we are doing much, much, much better. This is the drought index. I'll show it to you, but you have to understand perspective. This drought index was taken last week, and frankly, it was taken the 25th of April. It came out the 28th. They have to process it and everything. So severe drought for just about all of Central Florida and extreme drought for the West Coast. I don't see the West Coast changing when the drought index comes out this week, but for our area, I think we'll shift to moderate. I do. We've really done a number on things. So This is very good news. This is very good news. What about the rest of Central Florida? Okay, because of all the rain, what about burn bans? Polk and Orange counties are the only counties in Central Florida still under burn bans. I just saw your question after I got to this, Patrick. Patrick asked, does that mean the burn bans are done? For much of Central Florida, it does. But again, Orange County, and I think Orange County is pretty much a burn ban county in general, but Orange County and Polk County still under burn bans. The rest of us are doing better. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I got sleep, but didn't get caught up. Okay. All right. So that's where we're at. Now, we know that we got a bunch of rain these last couple of days. We know that April had been dry, March had been dry, February had been dry. But would you believe me if I told you April ended up being quite wet? In Orlando, we got 4.7 inches of rain, making it the 10th wettest April on record. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Just over the last couple of days, we got like a month's worth of rainfall, plus a month's worth of rainfall. So kind of an interesting little thing. Let's look and see about the month in terms of temperatures. 75.8 was our average high temperature in Orlando, making it the third warmest April on record. The first warmest back in 2015. The second warmest was in 2017. So yeah, and you can see like the average temperature in 2015, 77. That was a warm April. But yeah, so there's that. There's that. Now that we look at the month of May, I can't believe we're in May. Oh, you can vault. All right, so let's look at the month of May. What does May usually do for us? All right, here's a look at the kind of outlook, if you will. Average high temperature right now is 86, May the 1st. Average high temperature by the end of May, 90. Super cool. That's just the introduction to summer, right? Average rain is about 3.5 inches of rain. And I would go further to say, Patrick says, I just checked the website after asking, sorry, but Orange County said as of April 25th, burn ban is no longer in effect. So the county may have said that, but the Division of Forestry still has Orange County under a burn ban. So I don't know what to tell you. That's the source that we're using. Patrick, and you very well may be correct, but our dashboard that we're using is from the Division of Forestry. So yeah, maybe those two are not talking. I don't know. All right. So one thing that I do want to point out, May is the month that we really change weather patterns around. Okay. First off, tropical systems can and often do form during the month of May. Also, the average start of the rainy season is the end of this month. So those are two kind of big things to me. We very much transition into summer by the end of this month, usually. And Philip's asking, when does hurricane season officially start? So the official start of hurricane season is not this month. It's right on the first day of June. But the National Hurricane Center does put out their advisories, their tropical weather outlooks, starting on the 15th of this month. They haven't officially moved the start of hurricane season, but yeah, the 15th of this month is when things start going. All right, so yeah, 31 days until the start of hurricane season. And a reminder, there have been 2 hurricane season forecasts that have come out. Colorado State University, 13, 6, and 2. 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 2 major hurricanes. The WESH hurricane season forecast is calling for an at or slightly above season, whereas Colorado State is calling for basically a slightly below average season. So it just kind of depends. Our methodologies are different. But yeah, we're expecting. I'm thinking we're going to end up with a busy beginning of the hurricane season, and then kind of quiet things down toward the end of hurricane season. But they're the average numbers and the Colorado State and WESH forecast numbers. Yeah. Sharon says, really do not want to think about hurricane season. I get it, but it's coming. And so we need to be ready. Yeah. Yeah. I do need to get Phil Klotzbach on Coffee Talk. Haven't had him on this year, and we do need to chat with him. And you know what's kind of interesting? It's May, which means, I guess, next week. I haven't even realized. Next week, I'm gone. So next week is the Governor's Hurricane Conference down in West Palm Beach, and I'm going to be heading down there, doing live reports for WESH 2 News, and of course, we'll be doing Coffee Talk from down there. And sidebar, and this is a little inside baseball for those of you that have hung out and been a part of my journey for the last couple of years. I'm staying. WESH was going to put us up in a hotel, but one of my dearest friends is a meteorologist at our sister station in West Palm, Glenn Glazer. I know I've talked about him here, and so Glenn is going to. He's like, well, we'll just put you up at our house, and so he's got like a mother-in-law suite in his house, and that's where Jeannie and I were when Eric was born. We were there for weeks and weeks. Doing the NICU thing down there. So anyway, it's going to be my first time back in that mother-in-law suite since Eric was born. So it's going to be my first time in that mother-in-law suite for 5 years. And we'll be doing Coffee Talk from in there. And so it's going to be, I think it's going to be a nice throw of emotion when I get back in that room, because that, there was a lot of emotion in that room as we were kind of dealing with the NICU experience. So anyway, that's kind of one of those things. But we'll be there live, doing reports on the Governor's Hurricane Conference. What officials are doing to prepare, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to be teaming up with our team of meteorologists down at WPBF, Glenn, Chris. I'm sure that their other Mets will be there as well. But teaming up with them just to kind of check in and see what's next, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that'll be, I guess that's already, is it next week or is it the week following? I have to check. Is it next week or is it the week following? I have to check. I'll figure it out. I'll go look. Wait, let me just Google it. Governor's Hurricane Conference. May the 7th through the 12th. Okay, so there you go. So it's next week. So that's that. That's next week, yeah. Meeting of the meteorologists. Yeah, I mean it's yes. It's more than that. Yeah. Chris says Glenn for the Coffee Talk drive-through. Well, and he all he has to do is come to his mother-in-law's suite, right? Yeah. All right. So hurricane season is right around the corner. Sidebar. I think I always think of WESH when I think of the Governor's Hurricane Conference, because years ago it was held in Fort Lauderdale, and I used to report live for WESH every year before I was on WESH, back when I was at WPBF in West Palm. So the Governor's Hurricane Conference and doing reports like I remember reporting live from the Governor's Hurricane Conference when Tony Manalfi had just been promoted to chief. It was like a random day. It was like the week, it was Where in the World is Tony Manalfi? They were sending him around to different places around Central Florida. And so he's in the kitchen at Aunt Catfish's over in Port Orange, and I'm tossing to him. He's tossing to me from the Governor's Hurricane Conference. Little did we know, so many years later, I'd be the thorn in his side. Funny how life works, right? Funny how life works. All right, so there's the 7-day forecast, just while we're yentering it up. That way you can follow that along. The Muggy meter. I'll put that together. I don't have it prepped today right now, but I'll put it together for you for later. Warren, good morning to you. I hope you and my Coffee Talk friends have a wonderful, blessed day. Stay safe. Stay humble. I love that, Warren. Very good. Philip, your weather knowledge is unparalleled. I'm from South Carolina, and I enjoy listening to you. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate it. Listen, there's plenty of people smarter than I am, but I would say that this is one of those things that The only part of my, I'll just forthcoming, very forthcoming here. The only part of my job I absolutely hate, being away from my family and the hours, the hours that take me away from my family. That's the part that's tough. Everything about it, like here I am, like I'm not on the clock yet. It's 8:20. I don't start work for another couple hours. But I love what I do. And if you love what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life. So I think that that's helped me to want to learn. And I think that that's helped me to want to be the best flipping dude out there, And you know what I love is like finding people like Tony Manolfi that challenge the snot out of you. Tony's really good at challenging you, and I love that. I thrive on that. So, yeah, there's that. All right, let me catch up on some of these comments here. Chris, I'm camping next week in the Mount Dora area. Are we expecting any heavy rain? For right now, not looking too wild, but, we'll wait and see. I'm glad it's not going to rain. I'm tired of the rain. We got enough rain. Now people can stop saying Florida needs rain. Jeremy says, time to wash the car, get it all shined up and pretty. That's on my docket of things to do as well this week. Brian, history question. How many times has there been either a tropical storm or hurricane before the official start of hurricane season? That's going to take some digging, Brian, but that's a good storyline for today. Let me text myself. Stand by. I'm going to take a running list. All right. May storms. How many last time? Okay. I mean, there have been I know that there have been a bunch in May, but without, listen, I'm half asleep. I'm faking all of my energy here. So my brain isn't working on all cylinders. I'll get the information. I think most of the last decade we've had them. I didn't have that last year, so we'll see. My gut would be, I would think that we're going to probably start to see some stuff, just knowing how warm it is, and for our hurricane season forecast that we put out March the 1st, by the way. So 2 months ago, there are a couple of features that do show up. There's an East Coast feature at the very end of the month. I don't think that the Carolina storm had a May component. Oh, it did. Okay. So mid-month, the Carolina storm component is there. Whether or not it's tropical or not, we'll have to be watching for that. And then there was the Gulf feature as well. That was kind of toward, so you'll kind of watch the Carolinas, watch the Gulf, and then watch the east side of Florida. So that's kind of where we're at there. And again, if you're curious with hurricane season right around the corner, you can check out our WESH 2 hurricane season forecast in detail by heading over to wesh.com/hurricane forecast. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. That's our long range hurricane season forecast. Karen says, we love you. I love you, Karen. Thank you for being the sunshine in my day. This morning. All right, let's see here. How about the beautiful rocket launch last night? I know, with all that wind, I was a little surprised that it was going, but I'm okay with that. Yep, the rocket went up yesterday, yeah. Speaking about being challenged. What happened, Taylor? I will be working on the long-range forecast for May. I need to put those events on the May calendar. May calendar. Let me text Jeremy Nelson, speaking of which. Hey, I'll get us the May calendar today. All right. Note taken. That's on my priority list, and I'm not doing the noon and 4 today. Cam Train's working on the noon and 4, which means I'll have a little bit of extra time to work on the May calendar. Playing catch up. Love that. Yes, Cindy, I got you. Yeah. I know almost every year since 2015 we had a May storm. Right, exactly, Mickey. So I don't have the data in front of me. I don't want to be wrong. It's better to acknowledge the things you know and the things you don't know. And my memory was bad already. Then I became a parent and my memory got badder. But that's not a word. Don't care. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Nikki says, love the weather Thursday and Friday. Perfect for folks to come out. Advertisement to the Northland to see CFC Arts Community Choir and Once Upon a Dream. Oh, that sounds fun. Let's see here. Being challenged to search for the Storms preseason. Okay, yes. I'm like, what's happening? Yes. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, your memory really does suck, Kelly says. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. If you all knew, and you know what it is? I think there was a chapter in my 20s where I didn't drink any water. It was Diet Coke and Red Bull. I was never like a beer drinker or a spirits drinker, but I drank a lot of Diet Coke and Red Bull. And I do think that, like, that had to kick me in the head, you know? A little bit. It had to kick me in the head a little bit. So Kelly says that chapter still makes you a millennial. Kelly knows that I don't want to be a millennial. Can I convert to being another generation? Just wait till you have a girl, then memory is done. We're done. We got 2 kids. Done. No more. I have applesauce brain. It's the title I've given myself, or it's the title I've given my early senility brought by a bout of COVID. Need brain games. Oh my gosh. Applesauce brain? I've never heard it called that. Taylor says you're an elder millennial, if that helps any. But what if I don't want to play this game anymore? What if I don't want to be a millennial? Oh man. Audra says you're an exennial, the best of both Gen X and millennials. See, I think that I'm a Gen Xer. Like, I didn't grow up with a computer. You know? She's my animal. Oh, that's funny. I like that. Cindy, all I could eat was applesauce for a week. Hey, listen, I love applesauce. I do. So I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, I get that point. All right, any questions, comments, concerns, friends? Anything? But he's still a millennial, Debbie says. Debbie, you're not winning brownie points with me this morning. Oh, man. Millennial. Good Lord, you're not Gen X, but nice try. Thanks for playing. You get a Red Bull as a consolation prize. I don't drink soda anymore. Audra says, me either. Didn't even have a cell phone until college. I had a cell phone in high school. When I started driving is when I got the cell phone. Yeah. Hey, Gen X had computers. Sure, but not like like my first computer, you know, I was aware of the fact that there were no computers, and then they started showing up. So, yeah. Robert, Cam Tran does still work there. She's on West 2 News at noon today, baby. That's right. Frank says, I gave you my Commodore 64 when you were little. Correct. But I was old enough to know, hey, that's a Commodore 64. And I love that thing, man. I love that Commodore 64. But I would furthermore say, like, I remember the time before the computers. But also, Frank, like, when I think about it, you're really at fault for putting me where I am today. Because I love computers. You know? Tina's laughing. You can laugh at the Commodore 64 all you want. I love that thing. That thing was my introduction. I'll never forget being like, all right, I want to run this program. So I ran the command, hit play in the cassette tape player, enter, and it was like, all right, I'm going to go play outside for an hour. And by the time I come back, the data will be loaded. Wendy says, unless you had a pager in high school, you're not Gen X. I had a pager in high school. Janet, what year did you graduate from high school? And here's where I graduated from high school in 2002. Don't judge me. 2002. Listen, I had a conversation just this morning with Kellyanne Class. Joking, because she's, you know, Kellyanne's pretty young. And I joked and I was like, I didn't know if I was going to like you or not. Because, you know, with the gap in age, you just never know. Like, you could have absolutely nothing in common with somebody, and you could be that old guy who's just annoyed at everything the young kid says. But Kellyanne is an old soul, and I adore Kellyanne. And I said this to her this morning. I was like, this is why we get along so well, because it's like you are an old soul. I'm an old curmudgeon soul, I think, too. So it's like, okay, we're good. And so, like, everybody that we hire, I'm always like, oh God, they're young. Please don't be a putz. Like, I'm not doing boomerangs, And it's like, okay, Kellyanne's good people. Okay. Trina says I graduated in 02 as well. Very cool. See, Kelly says, always judging you. It's my job. Yes, it is. And you better not let it go. Carol says, definitely not a Gen Xer. Dag nabbit. I don't want to play this game anymore. Oh, man. Susan says, don't cry, hon. My 50th class reunion. I know. I get it. Like, I'm working through the idea that I left high school 20 years ago. And I know that that's not a long time, but also it's a long time. Like, this aging thing is something. This aging thing, we all have to process it in every step. Like, Saturday was my 39th birthday. I know I'm not old, right? But also, it's my last birthday in my 30s. My next birthday's 40. And I remember my mother's 40th birthday. That's where it hits, where you're like, oh God, I remember my parents' version of that. That hits. Whew. Karen says, class of 80. Brian, I graduated from high school in 99. Well, so we would have been in high school together, Brian. At least there's that. Patty says, holy crap, I have kids your age and grandkids older than little Eric. Oh, Patty. But we're all in good company, right? Priscilla says, we're a great group. It's true. Chris says, 2002. Man, so much happened before that. I know. We're all... But it's like milestones. No matter where it is, every milestone is, yeah. Garrett says I've got wrinkles that old. I think I've joked with Kellyanne saying that I've got back hair older than she is. Oh my God, that's disgusting. I know. Like, I've been in television weather almost as long as Kellyanne's been alive. You remember those old commercials? Life comes at you fast. It's like, oh, whew. Debbie says, I cried on my 40th. Single mom thrown all in. And God bless you for it. And Debbie, you're a feisty mama, and I love you for it. Strong thing. Yeah. Brenda says 40 was a stepping stone. Well, and that's the thing. I think that if we celebrate and respect all of those stepping stones, like, my back definitely hurts more than it used to. Okay. This morning, 4 a.m., little Eric had to go to the bathroom. Now, he hasn't discovered that he's able to leave, which is a good and a bad thing. He hasn't discovered that he's able to leave his bedroom whenever he wants to at night, which is a good and a bad thing. So it's like, it was like 4 a.m., maybe 3:30, 4 a.m. I wake up and I hear screaming. It sounds like he has found something sharp and is sticking it in his chest. And so I fly out of bed like Peter Pan style, you guys. I fly out of bed, body cracking and all, and I'm flying across the house, and he's got to go to the bathroom. Okay. Well, let me tell you something. From that little Peter Pan, Kung Fu, the legend continues technique that I used, my body's hurting this morning. Like, literally, by the time I laid back down, when I woke back up, I was like, oh my God, it's like somebody beat the snot out of my body. And it's because I flew out of bed that quickly. When I was 25, that didn't happen. Christine says 40 was a year of positive change for me. I'm hoping for the same. Look, I'm hoping 39 is a year of positive change for me. If we can just look at our aging process and say, like, I'm getting eye wrinkles, You know what I get? The Burrises get these ear wrinkles. My dad has them terribly. I see myself getting them. Okay, I'm going to earn them. I'm going to earn them. So it's fine. I'm not going to be sticking needles in to fill in. I'm going to earn it all. But I'm just hoping that every year is better than the last. That's all I want. That's all I want. Yeah. Philip says I'm approaching my 40th class reunion feeling ancient. I mean, it's God bless you for being able to get there. I hope to get there, right? Like, it's all just numbers. Yeah. Cindy says, wait for that moment. My oldest would sneak out to the kitchen and grab the eggs, the milk, the strawberry syrup. Whoa. Lived in military housing at the time. Had to replace the entire carpet before our transfer. Oy vey. Oh, yeah, Cindy, my God. Wow. The halls are scary in the dark when you're that age. They don't want to go on their own. I get it, Tina. And I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't mad at him. But the way he was screaming, it's like, oh, my God, what is happening? And you're half asleep. Any parent will understand that. Yeah. Taylor says, I've had gray hair since 23 and I'm turning 33 next year. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Like, I feel like at this point, my father's hair was starting to turn gray. Maybe. I don't know. Carla, I used to be so young. I'm at you know how old I am? Youth is wasted on the young. That's how old I am. I can recognize that. There it is. All right, people. It's 8:36. If I want to live to see 40, I have to go do some dishes and cleaning around that kitchen. What I don't want is Jeannie to come home to a mess. That is not going to work. So, beautiful forecast today. High temperatures in the comfortable mid-range of the 80s. That pool will be used, I think, tonight. I would like to. I hope you have a great day. So, no noon and 4 for me today. I will see you at 3:30. Does that sound good? 3:30 for Coffee Talk. Does that work? And I'm going to be working on storylines for the day. The Muggy Meter. May storms. How many have we seen? When was the last time? What do we average? And the May calendar. Yep. Sending myself an email, y'all. Sent. All right. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank y'all for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I'm First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. See you later. 3:30. Bye.